back to the Magical Mystery School, and thank you so much for joining us for Tarot, Symbols of the Tarot, class number 6. Now, I decided to just start with cards. No need to see my face for 5 seconds, but just let me know if you like. And so here's my little stand-in. So if you think of me, you can think of that little guy there. So we're just going to continue with the Fool's Journey. And I also wanted to check in and see how you're doing with your 5-minute meditation on each one of the major arcana, and hope you're picking out your favorite card or maybe not so favorite, that type of thing. And because that'll, we learn about the cards, it'll be really interesting for you to see which cards you loved and maybe didn't love so much. So I just want to do a really quick review, because last time we did the Fool, Key 0, Key 1, the Magician, and Key 2, the High Priestess. Oh, and in the tradition of the mystery schools, I will be calling the tarot cards keys, because they're considered keys to unlock the hidden mysteries. So with the Fool, just real quickly, we saw that's our energy, our super consciousness coming from above. Here he is, he's just, or she is just coming down the cliff here, and woo, getting ready to fall off, got a few memories in the bag. But basically, I always see this as leaping off into the birth canal, and off you go into the 3D world. And then the Magician, Key 1, this is our as above, so below, our card of concentration. It's kind of like a filter. Now remember, he's got black hair, so the self-consciousness here is just kind of working automatically, bringing that energy from the superconscious down into the subconsciousness. And I will also use subconscious and unconscious kind of interchangeably. So don't get thrown by that. It's basically what you're not aware of, right? So the High Priestess is that big cosmic soup. She has no judgments or anything like that. She's just waiting there. She's the Virgin. She's just waiting to be stimulated by the self-consciousness, by our self-conscious thoughts, and he's got all of his tools here to start manifesting. And I have had some questions about divination just in general. And there's a ton of wonderful classes and teachers on YouTube about divination. But just real quickly, right off the bat, you can just look and see what the card is saying. I mean, if you pull a Fool card, maybe you're being foolish about something, or there's something foolish going on, or maybe you're off on a big new adventure in life. This, the Magician is a card of concentration, manifestation, and some would also say manipulation. And this is also, if you need to improve your concentration, this is a great card to meditate on a little bit here and there. So, if you can expect the best with that stimulation of the subconscious, that's great. Now, of course, since she's ruling what's unconscious in our life, if you pull a card like this, there's secrets out there. There's something going on. You don't know quite what's happening. And it also sets creation into motion. Okay, so I'm going to put you on pause for a second. Okay, so here's the Empress, key number 3. And she's the Great Mother. She rules Venus, or Venus rules her. She's in charge of everything sensual, touching, any kind of physical needs. Think of this as your Mother Earth feeding us. Look at all the abundance that's showing up in this card. Nature is fabulous. Gives us everything we need for sure. So she rules all the senses. On this card, we've got the 5 roses here for the 5 senses. She's supportive to people. She's rules beauty, love, art, all sorts of wonderful things like that. Now her name is Dalith in the Hebrew word or letter, and that means door. So I kind of think of that's sort of the womb opening. So here we are, we're coming out. And again, these can be creative ideas. They don't have to be babies. They can be anything that you're trying to create. But that door can open and close, so this also does symbolize, segments in your life that may be opening and shutting. One door opens and another one closes, that kind of thing. Green is her color, note F sharp. So she is showing us how subconscious is responding to that stimulation from the magician. Now, remember, the magician is giving us a suggestion, is interpreting, putting a little color on those ideas, and the subconsciousness just produces it, basically. Now, not sure if I've mentioned this before, but most of these tarot cards are facing east. So we can think of this as, here's the radiant sun behind her here. And, and then we've got that, here's that stream from the high priestess. Okay, remember that's coming from her gown, right? So here comes the stream of consciousness, and it actually kind of repeats that as above, so below, down this waterfall into a pool of consciousness. So that's what whenever you see a stream in these tarot cards, it's stream of consciousness. And like the Fool, she has the yellow hair, again, for that radiant light of the sun and that type of thing, and the green wreath representing the plant kingdom. Now, she also has 12 stars on this crown, and those are, again, repeating or representing all the 12 different signs of the zodiac. And you'll notice that there's 6-pointed stars. So that's that combination of the triangles that represent air, earth, wind. Now I'm getting into my feng shui here. Air, earth, fire, and water. And she also has this scepter in her hand. This is real obvious in this one with that sphere on top. Whenever you see a sphere like that, or sort of especially above the head, that's going to be showing dominance. So she's actually has dominance over nature. Now this one over in the BOTA deck is with the cross and then this band across the sphere. It's sort of, again, representing the Venus sign, the circle with the cross. Now they both have heart-shaped shields sitting near them, and heart, of course, is she rules that all that love and that kind of thing. So the heart is a symbol for Venus, and here's the dove of peace on this particular one. So you can see they're similar, but there's some differences. And I wanted to mention this moon that she has her foot on. She's not dominating this. What this is showing is that the high priestess, the moon, who rules the moon, is also is like the basis, is the foundation for her power and her energy, basically. So really, the high priestess and the empress are really basically the same energy. It's just that this is pre-magician stimulation, and this is post-magician stimulation, basically. Okay. Let's see, what else? And, and again, this wheat here is representing abundance of food and plenty and that type of thing. And now she does have white robes, kind of representing sort of a purity there. And she has green robes, more representing the Venus green. She also has a pearl necklace on with 7 pearls. And that's going back to the 7 ancient planets and showing those out too. Okay, so I think I'll pause there and we'll go to the Emperor. Oh, and I forgot to show you, I wanted to just show you a couple of other tarot decks. Like here's the Empress, I got this kitty cat tarot deck. And you can see there's still some of the ideas are still repeated. The stars on the crown and that type of thing. That cat looks like she's pretty abundant. And then here's another one that's showing the Empress. But here her skin is actually green, but she still has her crown and her scepter and her shield. And Venus rules Taurus, so that's probably why she's sitting on top of a bull there. And then remember that deck from Marseille, the sort of the Renaissance deck. I kind of wanted to show you that too, just so you can see again, the scepter is repeated. There's many things. She's got a crown. You can barely see the stars up there, and still has a shield. Okay. Okay, so here's the Emperor. And the Emperor, now we're starting into zodiac signs. So he's the ruler of Aries, and that's pretty obvious. We can see all the rams here everywhere on both cards to remind us of that. And now the Emperor can only be the Emperor after the Empress has had the baby, the idea, okay, has created it. But what that's about is that once the spirit, gets used to the physical world and touching things and don't jump into the deep end of the pool, don't touch the hot stove, all those kinds of things. Well, that's what the Emperor starts to give that young spirit some order, some authority, gives them some rules to live by. So as you can see, the Emperor is up there on the hill surveying his empire, so he's very aware of his boundaries. And remember, Mars rules Aries, so that's the warrior energy. But remember that warrior energy can also be very, can defend us from scary things and that sort of thing. So a lot of times I think Mars is kind of given a bad rap of being kind of a little on the violent side, but it's also very much of a defender and a protector too. Now, the symbol here is means windows. So here we can, the magician was the house, right, and the Empress was the door, and now we've got the window. So we can actually look out, and Aries also rules sight and vision, and just the whole head and face of the, not around the ear, but kind of up and around the ear like that. So it can actually really, oops, I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, looking out the window. So we can see, are the people approaching the house friend or foe? Should we lock the door or welcome them in or get ready for battle? All that good stuff. So, and as you can see, Aries also rules red in the note C. Strength, courage, all that good stuff. Aries is a fire cardinal sign. Now, you're also seeing a lot of gold around and the yellows and such, yellow on the crown, and even these little solar symbols on the crown. And that's because the sun is exalted in Aries. Mars rules Aries, but the sun is exalted. So that's why this background is kind of orange and that sort of thing. So here we're making rules, we're learning about rules in life, but we're making them on the inside so that they can be reflected out into the outer world. So that's kind of what's going on with the Emperor here. Now you'll notice in the background we've got these very barren, dry-looking mountains, and and there's our stream of consciousness, okay, flowing right through. You can barely see it there. So that's that, after water falls down from in the stream and can just go right along there. And I would encourage you, play with these cards, move them, get a big space on a table and move them around and that sort of thing. But just remember the erosion. The soil will go into the stream and be taken further down the stream to create a more abundant soil for the Empress to do her work with abundance and such. Oh, and Mars also rules iron or steel these days, and that's, you can see his armor. He has steel there. He also has a scepter that's reminiscent of the Venus sign, and also the Ankh from the Egyptian sign of life. And again, he's looking out. And again, he's got this orb in his hand, and that is referring to dominion over what he can see, basically. Now you'll also see in this card, not in this one, how he's got these crossed legs. Well, that's actually to be reminiscent of the number 4 or a cross. And that the triangle, his body above, makes a triangle. And that's the symbol for sulfur, for alchemical purposes. Now, he is an older man. He's got a white beard and white hair. And that's to show wisdom and experience. He is the magician after he has had his union with the high priestess. So the emperor's been around the block a few times, but he's wise and he can help us in that regard. And remember, the magician and the high priestess are only potential mothers and fathers. The empress and the emperor are. And again, mother and father can be creative ideas also. The emperor's also considered the grand architect, that he can build things internally as well as externally, and he loves to define his boundaries. That's what Mars is good at. So, oh, and did I point out he's got these little tiny Aries symbols, that's the Aries symbol, the horns of the ram, on top of his crown there. Okay. Oh, and I wanted to show you just a couple of other cards. This is from the Golden Tarot, and you can see it's very reminiscent of the Rider-Waite. So if you see that one, this is from that Spellcasters, and that's a pretty scary emperor, huh? I don't know why they used stags and is that a ram? I don't think so. I think that's a bull. Sorry about that. There goes my clock. And then again from that Renaissance deck, you can see the BOTA fellows based a little bit more on that Renaissance deck. But he's still, with the way he's got his legs crossed, but he's still got a lot of the same elements there. Okay, so I think that will finish us up. And it looks like I'm going to be doing maybe 2-3 cards a session. So we'll just continue forward on next time. All right, bye everybody. And just remember, from there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. Bye.